Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your listening and viewing environment. We are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships, whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind. God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason that we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And to all of our listeners and viewers, we were having a little delay in our YouTube broadcast, but we are live now, and we are thankful that you have tuned in with us. And for all of our listeners and viewers, wherever you are across the U.S. and wherever you are around the globe, we want to stay connected with you every day throughout the week through our internet radio station, WKAPFaith.com, where we play music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And you can tune in at any time at WKAPFaith.com. I'm going to remind all of our listeners and viewers also that we, effective Monday, July 1st, we became your private money lender broker. So if you're in the real estate business and you need capital for your projects, whatever they might be, contact us on the T-Mobile caller text line by texting us at 267-992-1424. We will make certain that you have funding for your real estate projects. We are available to you in 48 states here in the U.S. And we have the ability to do some international projects, so don't hesitate to reach out to us. But just remember this: as long as our only limit outside of the 48 states, of course, is that it can't be owner occupied. So we don't do mortgages, but we do private money lending. So reach out to us, text us on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. We will make certain that you have money for all of your real estate projects. And I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, so I have to take care of all of these housekeeping items first. If you know someone that is dealing with food insecurities, if they are in need of food, have them contact us on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267, once again, 992-1424. We will make certain that we give them instructions on how they can receive food from our New Life Food Source pantry. We give out food to anyone who's in need of food, and we want to make certain that no one goes hungry. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have an extremely intelligent son, you said, who could really do some great things. You said do something great. However, you realize that you are not capable of giving him the support. You're not capable of giving him the support necessary to be great. So let me say this to you. You're doing a great job. I'm using that word intentionally. You're doing a great job at preparing your son for the greatness that God has in store for him. What he needs is a mentor, a male mentor, someone who can give him the guidance that he needs to explore his gifts and abilities. So you're not the first person that I've heard say this. And it's generally, of course, you're a single mother, so, there's something to be said about your ability to nurture him, teach him the difference between right and wrong, but you are wise enough to know that he needs someone to give him the guidance for greatness as a man. And so I want to say to you that because you're not in our area, if you will allow me to do this for you, I will reach out to one of my brothers in the gospel who is in your area, who's part of our Champion Network, Pastor Joel Osteen's Champion Network. And what I will do is I will reach out to one of them and have him find a male mentor who can identify what your son's gifts and talents are. And then they can explore finding someone in that professional field who can guide your son professionally, and then they can watch over your son spiritually, meaning you're going to need to take your son to church. You're going to need to get him in an environment with real men who love God, who are building a great quality of life, and allow him to be mentored by them. He's old enough now that he can move around a bit without you hovering over him 24 hours a day, but placing him in the hand of someone whom you can trust. Someone you can trust to guide him, and it takes time, for you to feel that level of trust, but when you do, you'll be able to give whomever it is the authority to watch over your son. And I had someone reach out to me recently with a similar situation, and it's real important for us to recognize, and you're doing a great job by realizing that there's a need that should be filled. You just need to have the right person fill it. So you need to have people who are going to watch over him, spiritually and professionally. Because right now his personal life should not be your concern, because he's still not old enough to focus on the personal life, dating and all of that. That's not an issue. What's an issue is his spiritual and his professional. Because you realize you've got a young man who could do something great. You realize that. And that's the reason you reached out. So you're doing your part. Now it's someone else. It's someone else's responsibility to be part of the village, to be part of giving your son the mentorship that he needs to go as far as he can possibly go. And so what I'm going to encourage you to do while I do my part is to have your son sit down and write a 7-year plan. Write a 7-year plan for his life. That way, when the mentors reach out to you, he will have something to present to his mentors. And then they will have the opportunity to discuss it with him. I will share with you how important it is for a young man to know what he wants to accomplish. It's so important. There's a young man I know who is a major in the Air National Guard. He's also a commercial pilot. And he's in his very early 30s. Very early 30s. And he's doing all the right things. And the reason is because since he was a child, he always wanted to be a pilot. And now, because he had the vision, he was able to explore that professional endeavor. He is in a good place spiritually, and he's in a great place professionally. That's all part of understanding where your son wants to go as a young man, and it's okay. It's going to be okay, and you are doing what's absolutely necessary to make certain that your son gets to the place that God has appointed for his life. So let's focus on that. And one of the things the reason this was so important to me today is because one of the things I want to encourage every parent, for all the women out there who are parents, all the brothers, all the men out there who are parents, we've got to do a better job of really deciding what our children's vision is for the future. And then we got to help them accomplish it. So I will tell you, from my perspective, one of the things I would tell both my son and my daughter when they were much younger is I asked them what they wanted to pursue professionally, and one of the things I said to them, whether they remember it or not, one of the things I said to them is, the best thing you can ever do and the worst thing you can ever do is to tell me what you want to accomplish. Because now that I know what you want to accomplish, I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to push you to be accountable for your success. And along the way, I'm going to give you some other guidance because there's other things that you need to do to build a great quality of life for the future. But I'm going to do my part as a parent. All you have to do is listen. All you have to do is be willing. And so, one of the things I want to encourage every parent, I just dedicated a baby 2 Sundays ago and dedicated him back into the Lord. And I made a comment to his mother this past Sunday and said, now we need to start planning what college he's going to attend. And the reason is because if you can see it, you can become it. We've got to do a better job of not just wanting to nurture our children, not just wanting them to feel good, not just wanting them to live life, enjoying life every day, but look at life from a different perspective, and that is, what is my gift and talent? What is my desire for the future? And what work is necessary to accomplish that? And we as parents, we have to do a better job preparing them for that. We've got to do a better job teaching them that. So you're on the right track, and I will commit to you that I will reach out to one of my brothers in the Champion Network and ask him to find a mentor for your son in your area. You're going to need to go to the church. You're going to need to sit down with him, have a conversation with him as a pastor, and then the gentleman he's going to choose as a mentor for your son. And let's all pray and believe that your son will maximize the greatness that you see in him. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Comcast Business. If you are looking for the best telecom solutions for your business, whether you're a small startup or a large enterprise, Sarah Jo Boyle at Comcast Business has you covered. She will guide you with professional service and expertise to find the perfect business solutions tailored to your needs. Call Sarah Jo Boyle at 215-964-3670 and give your business the edge it deserves Your code is Pastor Pope. Contact Sarah Jo Boyle at Comcast Business at 215-964-3670. Your code is Pastor Pope for exclusive discounts. Don't know what your discounts are going to be for the month ahead, but she will make certain that you receive exclusive discounts. Contact Sarah Jo Boyle at Comcast Business at 215-964-3670. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you and your husband have different parenting styles. However, you have grown tired of the way your husband treats your son. You want to know, how can you get him to treat your son differently? I would not want your husband to treat your son any differently. He's teaching your son to be a man. What you've got to do is stay in your lane. You've got to allow your husband to teach your son to be a man because you've never been a man. And you know, it's really interesting, just like your husband has never been a woman. He can't nurture your son the same way you nurture him. He has to prepare his son to be a man in this world. He has to prepare your son to be able to walk upright and accomplish everything that God has purposed for his life. So you've got to get out of the way and stop trying to be mother and father, because you are a two-parent household. You are blessed to have a two-parent household that allows your husband and you to train up your children in the way they should go, so that when they grow old, they won't depart from it. Okay, so what does that really mean? Your husband is going to teach your son the right attitude for the society in which we're living in. Your husband's going to teach your son the behavior he needs to demonstrate to be successful. He's going to instill in your son a specific type of character, hopefully the character of God. He's going to teach your son what it is to be diligent in business. He's going to teach your son how to have the spirit of excellence. But if you keep getting in the way, none of that's going to happen. Because you're going to spend all your time trying to nurture your son to be happy. And that's one of the places that as parents we will fail our children if we don't do both. And your job as the mother, as the wife and the mother, is to nurture your son, to love him. It is not that your husband does not love his son. He is the DNA of your husband. So your husband loves his son, and that's the reason he's trying to teach him these things. That's the reason that he wants him to walk into a room with the right attitude. That's the reason that he wants your son to demonstrate the right behavior, because an undisciplined boy becomes an undisciplined man. He wants to teach your son to have character. He wants to teach your son, and let me tell you what that looks like. In today's society, you know, we've got so many different talking points from society, but he wants to teach your son how to have character, and hopefully the character of God. Things as simple as opening doors for others, being courteous to others. That's part of character, is being courteous. He wants to teach your son to have the right character so that he can be successful in life. He wants to teach your son how to be diligent in business. That means your husband's getting up every day, going to work, yes, to build a great quality of life for his family. He is working in his professional environment to build a great quality of life. But he's also showing your son that if you get up every day and you put in the work that is necessary to be successful, you can be successful. That's what he's teaching him. And then he's teaching him that diligence of work ethic. He's also teaching him the spirit of excellence. That every day if you're going to excel, you've got to be excellent. If you're going to push beyond the boundaries that are set by society in careers, if you're going to exceed those boundaries, you have to be excellent. And that's your husband's job as a father. That is his job assigned to him by God. That every day he should prepare your son to be the man of God that God has called him to be, that God has appointed for him to be, that God has developed him to be. And God is not done with him yet. God is not done with any of us yet. So we have to make certain that we're doing our part every single day. What you have to do is get out of the way. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by PorscheAmerica.com. So if you are in the market for a high-performance automobile, one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured, go to Porsche.com. You will have the opportunity to virtually build out the Porsche you desire to own at Porsche USA. If you're in our area, you can just simply go to PorscheDelaware.com, ask to speak to Mike Didio, who is the general manager at PorscheDelaware.com. Tell him Pastor Pope sent you, and he will have someone assist you in selecting the Porsche you desire to own. And if you're in our area and you currently own a Porsche, go to PorscheDelaware.com, ask to speak to Mike Adams, who is the service manager at PorscheDelaware.com. He will have someone schedule an appointment for you. They will pick up your vehicle at your home or office and drop off a loaner vehicle to you, returning your vehicle to you when your service has been completed at PorscheDelaware.com. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your daughter is dating a guy who has several bad habits. However, for whatever reason, she will not stop seeing him, and her only comment to you, her rebuttal, is that no one is perfect. Okay. You have to remind her she's right. No one is perfect. But if he's got bad habits, and you described what those habits are, you didn't describe them all, but he has some others. But if you've got bad habits and you're continuing to perpetuate bad habits, he's not going to be able to build a great quality of life. What we want is to be better. So if he's not working on being perfected, he's not going to be better. And you said for whatever reason she won't stop seeing him. She's just gotten caught up. You said he drinks too much. He also gambles. He also, smokes cannabis. He smokes weed. He's doing all of the things that are not conducive for building a great quality of life, for developing a great quality of life. It's real simple that we understand that health is wealth, first of all, and we all want to be better. So when I had my annual physical, my physician was asking me questions. And he said to me, well, I know, Reverend, you don't drink. I know you don't smoke. I know you don't, have any bad habits. But I have issues too. We all have issues. I had to laugh at myself because, my wife and I have different ways of doing things. My wife, when she starts something, she wants to do it all at once. I, on the other hand, know that in order to eat an elephant, you got to do that one bite at a time. For me, that works. For her, the other way works. But it's all workable, but I've got issues. I'm going to chart it out. I'm going to break it out, and I'm going to say, okay, Monday, I'm going to do this. Tuesday, I'm going to do this. Wednesday, I'm going to do this. And each of those days, I may break out what I'm doing in segments. I may say, okay, I'm going to start on that at the beginning of the day, and I'm going to complete it at the end of the day, because it may be necessary with all the other things we have to do to get it done. Now, the good news is everything that we are working on at any particular time does get finished, but there's always more to be done. So in life, we have to want to be better, and we have to eliminate bad habits. So even I brought up my annual physical because one of the questions my doctor asked me was about even when I was younger, what did that look like? Because he's very thorough. So he wanted to know what some of my habits were when I was younger. And I had to explain to him that, yes, there were moments that I did certain things that now I don't do any longer because you desire to be better. So you have to make that decision. And if he hasn't made that decision, she has to ask herself, why is she wasting her time? This is going to take me into another communication, but she's wasting her time. And if she's wasting her time on him, she's also wasting her money on him. And she's never going to get a return on that investment. So she just has to, no, none of us are perfect. We're all being perfected. But we just have to make a decision that we want to be better. If we want to be better, we've got to say, okay, I'm not going to surround myself with people who are not going to want to do better. And I'm just going to do what I know I can do to be the best version of myself that I can possibly become. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Terry. Located in London, the UK, they also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at the retail stores. They have everything a man could possibly need. If you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Terry at ctshirts.com. And The White Company, located in London, the UK, they also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. So if you're in New York, stop in at the retail store. They have everything you could possibly need. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right at your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated you want to manage your money. However, you're finding it difficult to do that. You ask, how can you do better with your money? So let me say this. The very first step that you can take, and this is what I tell people, because if you just tell someone stop spending, that's the first step to not wasting your money. Well, let me rephrase that. That's the second step to not wasting your money. The first step is stop wasting your time, because time is money. There's a cost value to time. If you show me someone that wastes their time, I'll show you someone that wastes their money. And you've got to stop wasting your time spending, so you've got to stop spending. You've got to start saving and preparing to invest and place your money on a mission. So let me say this to you. If you learn to manage your time more effectively and efficiently, you'll learn to manage your money more effectively and efficiently. And the problem is, most people say they want to do better with their money, but they don't place their money on a mission. They just use their money to fuel their pleasure and feed their flesh. There are people who go to work every day just to fund their weekend, just so that they will have money to party on the weekends, to hang out with their friends, to do things that they would like to do on the weekends. That's why they have a job. That's why they have a career. Now, once you're career-minded and not just, you have a professional career, but you do it as a way to fund your entertainment, and pay your bills. But you got to place your money on more of a mission than that. You've got to make certain that your money is every dollar, every cent. If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. That every dollar is on a mission. You've got to place your money on a mission. What can I do with my money to create more money? What can I do with my money to increase my net worth, my capital resources? And then what can I do to place that money on a mission so that I'm not wasting money and I'm getting a return on my investment? You gotta look at it from that perspective. And if you do that, you're going to find that you will have a much better quality of life. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D has been brought to you by Fiji Water. Earth's finest water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you will save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. Remember, we want to stay connected with you throughout the week through our internet radio station, WKAPFaith.com, where we play music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Music that will encourage you, empower you, and inspire you. And remember, if you know someone that is in need of food,